Okay, everybody, let's talk about some details that we can now put on our buildings now that we have at least 10 buildings in the correct perspective. I'm going to show you how you can add some lines to your building that look like bricks, some windows going down, down, down into space, and some details on top of your buildings. So I want to start with this idea of the lines around the building that look like bricks. Now, you might think that it would be okay to just make lines down, 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 down randomly with your pencil, but we really want these to look like they're in the correct perspective. That means the lines are matching up with the top of the building. So what I'm going to do with my ruler and my pencil is, if I'm looking at this building right here and I want to make bricks going down this side, I have to make sure my lines going down the side of the building are the same line as this line. So I'm going to put my ruler on this straight line right here. And each time I make a line going down the building, I'm just going to move my ruler down. And I'm really going to try and match up this line that I make with the top of the building. This is what we call parallel. The lines are going in the exact same straight positioning, and they're going in the exact same direction. So each time I move my ruler down, I don't want it to be at an angle like this or this. I want it to be straight, just like the top of the building is straight up and down. So I'll keep making lines that go all the way down until I get to the bottom of my building. And if I make a little mistake, I can just erase that. Okay, so now this side of the building is the same. I'm going to put my ruler on this straight line, and then I'm going to move it down a little bit, not at an angle like this or this, but just straight. And I'm actually trying to meet this line here that I made second. So this is my line that I want to meet. See how they meet each other? Now I'm moving down straight, and I want to meet this line now. These two lines are meeting each other. Now I move it down straight, and these two lines are meeting each other, and then straight down again. And I'll keep doing this all the way down, just like I did for the other side. Oops, made a little mistake there. Until I meet all the lines. Okay, if I've met all the lines here, now to make bricks, I'm just going to make some straight lines on the side going down. And I do 2 and 1, and then 2 and 1. 1 in the middle and 2 on the outside. And I can just randomly do that all the way down. Same thing on this side. And they get tinier and tinier and tinier as they go down into space, because as we go down into space, we are less close to the building, so things get smaller. Okay, so that's how you make bricks on the side of the building. Now let's say I wanted to make some windows. We want to make sure the windows are in the right perspective too. So that means they start big and they get smaller as they go down. So one way we can do this is make some lines for ourselves. So I'm going to put my ruler on this top of the building here, just like I did for the bricks, and move it down a little bit. And I'm just going to make a little straight line. Move it down a little bit and make another parallel straight line. And I'm just going to keep doing this all the way down. And each time I go down, my lines are going to get a little bit smaller, because again, I'm going way back into space. Okay, so now I'm going to make some diagonal lines. So diagonal lines are lines that are not straight up and down. They are kind of at an angle. So look at this diagonal line of the building. I'm going to put my ruler on that line and try and just move it in a little bit until I meet these little lines here, and then make a diagonal line. So what I'm trying to do is have these lines meet each other on a diagonal. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Put my ruler on the diagonal and then move it in a little bit and make a diagonal line on this side here. Okay, and now I'm just going to make some straight lines going down for the windows. So I'm just going to put a line in the corner point here and then go up. And now I have some windows that look like they're going way back down into space, and they're in the correct perspective. That means they fit with the space of the building. And I can shade in some of these some of these windows if I want to make them look like they're lights off or on. Okay, couple more things I can do here. Let's say I want to just freehand draw a window. If I want to just freehand draw some windows, that's fine, but I also need to make sure that they start big and they get medium, medium, small, small as they go all the way down. Same thing for these on the side here. I really want to make sure that they start big and get smaller and smaller and smaller. And if I'm making a window that is a square type of window, I really want to look at this shape right here and make sure the lines of the window are the same. So the top of the window is parallel to the top of this building. The side of the window is parallel to this line. That means they're the same direction, straight, straight, diagonal. And the side of this window is the same direction as this one, at a diagonal. The bottom of the window is smaller than the top because it's going back down into space. Now I'll start at this window and do the same thing. Parallel, 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 and then the bottom of the window is smaller. And I can shade this in if I like as well. This looks a lot different than if I just drew my windows like this. That really does not look like the right perspective. It just looks like the windows are kind of stuck on this drawing. And it doesn't look very realistic like this. So perspective really makes your details look very realistic. Okay, I can keep making windows all the way down, down, down if they get smaller and smaller. Now let's talk about what you can do on the top of your buildings. On the rooftops of each building, this is where I want you to get really creative. And I want you to think about a couple things that you could put on the rooftops that would match a picture. Like maybe there would be trees or a pool or little people on the top of the building, or something that would match a logo. Like maybe you could imagine this was a store or a company and you can put a company's logo on top. And you can keep doing that for the tops of your rooftops. One of the rooftops though, this is where we're going to put in that picture of our shoe. So one of your buildings, you have to make sure that the square goes off your paper a little bit. So if you have 10 buildings, you're going to make an 11th building. And you're just going to make sure this square goes off your paper so that you have a spot to put your shoe. So it looks like you're actually standing on top of this building. So I'll have to do the same thing for this building, perspective lines that go into the vanishing point. But on the top of this one is where I'll start to sketch really big, almost like I'm filling the whole top of the building, my shoe. It's going to look kind of weird, like the shoe is too big for this building, but that's what we want. We really want this to line up with our foot when we take our picture. So I'll just sketch out what my shoe looks like. Maybe I have some laces. Maybe there's a bottom part here. So you will sketch out the top of your shoe as well, whatever your shoe looks like.